Moving on to the third property of the normed space, that is norm of alpha x cap 2. Okay. So norm of alpha x cap 2 should be equal to d cap of 0 cap alpha x cap, which by definition limit n tends to infinity d of 0 alpha x, where alpha xn is the sequence corresponding to x cap. Okay, which can be written as limit n tends to infinity norm of 0 minus alpha x. Okay, for limit n tends to infinity norm of alpha x. Okay, so from which we can take by the definition of norm, because xn is an element in capital X. So this is actually norm 1. Okay, so modulus of alpha into norm x. For limit, you can take the constant outside, which is equal to modulus of alpha into limit n tends to infinity norm of xn. It's actually norm 1 because xn is an element in capital X. So which is equal to modulus of alpha into, which can be written as limit n tends to infinity d of 0 xn, because we can write it as 0 minus norm xn. Okay, which can be written as d of 0 xn. Okay, so modulus of alpha. So this is by definition limit n tends to infinity 0 xn is actually d cap of 0 cap x cap, because xn is the sequence corresponding to x cap and 0 is the sequence corresponding to 0 cap. So which is actually, this is by definition modulus of alpha into norm of x cap. Okay, so we have proved third property, which is norm of alpha x cap 2 is equal to modulus of alpha into norm x cap, sorry. Okay, keep in mind that here we are using norm 1 because alpha xn is an element in capital X. So there the corresponding norm should be equal to norm 1. So keep in mind that. Okay. So we have proved the third property. Now moving on to the fourth and final property of the normed space. That is fourth property, norm of x cap plus y cap not. We should be equal to, by the definition of norm, d cap of 0 cap x cap plus y cap, which by definition is limit n tends to infinity d of 0 xn plus yn, where xn is the sequence corresponding to x cap and yn is the sequence corresponding to y cap. So xn is a sequence corresponding to x cap and yn is a sequence corresponding to y cap. Okay, so this can also be written as limit n tends to infinity, by definition norm of 0 minus xn plus y, which should be equal to limit n tends to infinity norm of xn plus y, by the simple property of norm. So xn and yn are actually elements in capital X. Okay, so which means that in capital X associated with norm 1 we have triangle inequality. So this can be written as, which is less than or equal to limit n tends to infinity norm of xn 1 plus norm of yn 1. It's clear. because the property of the norm in X. Now limit can be splitted, which is less than or equal to limit n tends to infinity norm of x n 1 plus limit n tends to infinity norm of y n 1. So which is actually, this is actually equal to limit n tends to infinity norm of 0 xn plus limit n tends to infinity norm of 0 minus y, which by definition is actually d of, so the limit d of 0 xn plus limit d of 0 y. Okay, which further can be divided as, so which should be equal to, here less than or equal to transforms to all this. Okay, by our definition, which can be written as d cap of 0 cap xn. So sorry, cap of 0 x plus d cap of 0 cap y cap. Because xn is the sequence corresponding to the element x, yn is the sequence corresponding to the element y. So which is actually norm of x cap 1 plus norm of y cap, sorry, 1 not 2. Okay, so we have started with norm of x plus y 2, which is actually less than, this less than or equal to transforms to all these things. So norm of x cap plus y cap is less than or equal to norm of x cap plus norm of y cap. So we have established that this satisfies, this norm 2 satisfies, which is defined as d cap of 0 cap x cap satisfies all the properties of the norm. So what we have done is we have defined this space x cap and the norm 2, which is actually an extension of the norm 1, and we have proved that it satisfies all the properties. So it is actually a normed space. Okay. So, and the property of completion can be stated with respect to the theorem 1.6.2, because we have used the same technique as in the metric. We have actually defined a metric norm. Okay, so we have defined a norm with respect to the metric. So the completion of the metric implies the completion of the space. So actually our space is a complete space. So since our space x cap d cap is complete, and d cap induces a norm x2, and we can clearly state that our space is a complete normed space, or in general it's a Banach space. To sum up the whole thing, what we have done is, so we have constructed a space x cap which consists of Cauchy sequences, representations, and a metric, and used theorem 1.6.2, and associated with this, so capital X can be extended, or capital X is extended onto x cap to make it as a complete space. And by theorem 1.6.2, associated with capital X, we have a subspace W in capital X cap, and there exists an isometry A from X to W. And we have proved that capital X cap is a vector space. Now we have to prove that it's a normed space. So we have to define a norm. We don't have a norm in capital X cap. So what we do is, since we have a function isometry from X to W, and W is a subspace of capital X, so this Actually, this is a norm in capital X. And we have a property that norm of x should be equal to norm of ax. Okay, so this norm 1 is a norm in W by means of isometry. So associated with a norm in capital X, we can define a similar norm in capital W by means of isometry. So we have a norm in norm 1 which is in W, which is actually a subspace of X cap. So in a subspace we have a norm. Now it is enough to establish a norm in capital X by means of extending norm 1 onto the bigger space X cap, because norm 1 is defined on W. W is actually a subspace of X cap. So this norm is termed as norm X2. We have defined one such norm and proved that it satisfies all the conditions of the norm. So X cap along with the norm 2 form the normed space. By theorem 1.6.2, X cap D cap, where D cap is the metric associated with X cap, is a complete space, and norm 2 is a norm induced from norm 1, which is actually induced from the metric D cap. So norm 2 should be actually associated with D cap. So X cap D cap is complete means that normed space X cap norm 2 should be a complete space. So this is what we have done. Okay, so we have used the concept in the normed metric spaces to establish the completeness of the normed space. We have first from X, we have constructed X cap by means of an equivalence relation, which is defined as all the sequence which converges to a particular point can be represented by a single entry, and with respect to that equivalence class, we have defined a vector addition and scalar multiplication. So x cap, y cap element of x cap means its sum and scalar product should be an element in the same space. For that, the associated sequence should be Cauchy. We have proved that the associated sequence is Cauchy. So vector addition and scalar multiplication is valid in x cap. So, and we have defined the zero element and the inverse as such. So since those properties have been satisfied, it can be stated as a vector space. So X cap is a vector space, and also our choice of Xn and Yn never affects the property at all. So we have established that also. Then after that, we have proved that it's a vector space. Now we have to define that it's a normed space. Okay. For that we have to define a norm. So what we do, we can X cap is actually formed from X by means of theorem 1.6.2. What we have done in theorem 1.6.2. So theorem 1.6.2 should be valid in the case of X cap as well as a metric space. So associated with that, we can have a similar space W, which is actually similar to X, and X should be dense in X cap, or W should be dense in X cap by theorem 1.6.2. And with respect to that and isometry, we can define a norm which is actually induced from the norm D cap, which is called norm 1. Now we have to prove that this norm can be extended onto capital X cap. So we have extended by means of this definition or by means of metric and prove that it satisfies all the properties of the norm. So X cap and along with the norm 2 should be a normed space. Its completion property can be obtained from theorem 1.6.2 because X cap D cap is complete. The denseness also, I didn't quote, the denseness also can be obtained from theorem 1.6.2 because X is dense in X cap. So this is how we prove the theorem.